It's been almost a year and a half now since classical KXTR changed formats after nearly 50 years on the air, first on FM and then the AM band. But just a few weeks ago, the 4th of July in fact, Radio Bach USA made a comeback, not as a terrestrial radio station, but one that streams its signal via the internet under the auspices of Johnson County Community College. Patrick Neese, classical music's morning voice in Kansas City for many years, and Emily Behrman, general manager of the Carlson Center, joined me to talk more about this new media partnership and how it came about.
Classical radio just doesn't seem to fit into the corporate template, but that's becoming less and less important because of internet radio. Now it's so easy to listen to any kind of radio anywhere in the world, and it's so easy that terrestrial radio is almost not an issue anymore for listening to whatever you want to listen to.
You two came up with this notion together. How did this JCC connection really take place?
Well, I knew a little while before they changed the format to business that they were going to do it. And I had coffee with Emily after one of our on-air interviews, and we were just chatting, and Emily was very concerned because I should let you tell why you were concerned.
Well, having a performing arts connection obviously in the city, Radio Bach was very important to promoting our classical programming as well as other things that we do. So that was my first concern. My second concern was for you, and then also about this is a part of our community and it was going to be gone. So was there a way maybe to pick it up again and take it forward and bring it back?
So have you built, Patrick, a little hutch there somewhere inside Johnson County Community College?
Well, this is the great thing about internet radio is it doesn't really require an office or a room with padded walls or whatever.
No, it still might require that.
I don't mean that in the best way possible, but it can really be done anywhere. So as you can listen from anywhere, and then some of the programming and other things can also be done and then put together, and people listening would never realize that, gosh, all of these things are coming from so many different sources.
But the support staff at JCCC is absolutely essential. I mean, they have a fantastic engineering staff that have been terrific. I certainly couldn't do it on my own. Also with the Carlson Center there, I mean, we're looking down the line and we're anticipating broadcasting concerts, also engaging the students out at JCCC in various things we want to do. We really want to add a lot to our web content, and the students out there will be critical in that as far as creating video interviews with local arts leaders and that sort of thing. So, JCCC's involvement it couldn't have been better.
Did you feel like you were paddling upstream for a goodly while, Mr. Neese?
Well, Entercom exists to make money. I understand that, and so I can't question their decisions. I do think that there is a huge audience for classical radio, and I think it's been overlooked immensely. When we were moved to AM, at that time we had a very large audience, and one of the largest in the country. And those people had nowhere to go to after, they cut us loose. I mean, there is some classical on some other local stations that people can go to, but there's no 24-hour, 7-day-a-week classical station. And so we feel that, especially with the ease of listening to internet radio now, that we are going to give those people who really lost, a great source of classical music, they're going to have an opportunity again to get calmed down during their rush hour drive, to calm down before they go to sleep at night, to get charged up in the morning, to just be inspired and invigorated by the music. And as I say, it's so easy to listen to us. A lot of people out there, however, may not have tried internet radio yet.
Especially in the target demographic that I'm assuming a lot of classical music goes to.
Well, you say target demographic, but to me the target demographic is absolutely everybody. So, anybody who loves great music.
And along those lines, I just want to mention at some of our performances in the fall, we're going to kind of do demonstration stations in our lobby so that some of our patrons who may be part of that older target demographic can see what happens on a laptop when you pull up the radio station, that you can listen while you do other things, because that's been a question that's been asked of me. Oh, can I still send email to my granddaughter if I'm listening to Radio Bach? Yes, you can. So just familiarizing people and educating them a little bit, which is kind of what the college will do.
And I must say that in addition to the Carlson Center, the rest of the arts community in Kansas City has been very, very supportive of Radio Bach, and we're looking forward to really giving them a voice and having their input and having them be an integral part of the station.
Did JCCC require a lot of convincing that this is a good idea?
You know, we did kind of have to go forward to one of our trustees committees to get permission to kind of pilot this for 3 years and to see how things go. You know, the college, we're very lucky is in that the college does have a lot of built-in resources. Patrick mentioned, you know, people in our IT department that are already, you know, servicing an ECAV radio, our student radio station. So a lot of the resources that we've used for Radio Bach were already in place and have been allocated also to this. So going forward with our marketing communications vice president and our vice president of academic affairs, pulling the students into it, going to the trustees and saying, look, we think we can make this go, and if you can support it for this period of time, then we'd like to go out and try to sell advertising and try to raise some private dollars to make it continue after that time has passed. So we were very lucky that they were willing to do that and see that it's relevant to what the college does.
So the 3-year track and get those listeners grabbed up and on board is really the key here?
I think so, and you know, listening to radio on the internet is only going to become more and more prevalent as the years go on. So yeah, I'm very hopeful that Radio Bach will establish itself in the community the way KXTR did, and really become an important part of the arts community.
It's good to have you back in the business. You know?
Thank
I think
you.
something felt wrong when Patrick Neese wasn't being heard on the airways. So
Well, I hope to have you on the show too.
maybe able to wander back back into the waves one kind of one kind or another here before long.
Great. Well, it's so nice to have you know, a little role reversal here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We've
You didn't grill me the way I used to grill you, so thank you.
yeah, but you didn't have the tie
Yes,
usually,
that's
so
right.
that may
That's true.
that may be the difference
That's
maker.
true.
Patrick and Emily, great to have you. Thanks for joining us here
Thank
on
you.
the
Thanks,
local
Randy.
show. Remember, you can learn more about the stories you've seen here and the ones you've missed on the web at thelocalshow.org.